What's up to all my Scorpios out there, and welcome back to Pulse of the Cosmos. Today we are going to be talking about this upcoming full moon lunar eclipse happening in Capricorn. This is happening on Saturday, July 4th or Sunday, July 5th of 2020, depending on where you are in the world, and this is major eclipse energy. This is the third and final eclipse we are having. It is happening in Capricorn, which is an area of our life that has been very impacted over the course of the past few years. We're looking at when Saturn moved into Capricorn at the end of 2017, December 19th, 2017, Saturn moved into Capricorn, and we've undergone a lot of tests and a lot of challenges and a lot of blockages that have required an extreme level of work, an extreme level of perseverance to get through. It has felt like climbing an insurmountable mountain at times. For some of us, it has been crazy, and there's been a lot of transformation. But the area of your life that this has impacted for you guys, my Scorpios out there, is your third house. So this has to do with your immediate environment and the way that you communicate with people even, and your ideas. So we're looking at here, maybe there was a major shift that you had to make in your immediate environment where you were called to be very adaptable. And I feel like a lot of us even went through kind of a dark night of the soul where we were really drawn to some of these extreme places where we had to call out some of our deepest inner strength to kind of walk through some of these shifts and some of these changes that kind of disrupted our reality and disrupted our routine and really disrupted our whole kind of mental processes of life, kind of shifted the whole way of thinking there. Third house deals with your mental processes. So this could be an entire change in the way that you communicate with others, an entire change in the way that you connect with people in your immediate environment. It could have also brought up some issues, some problems that could have arisen with people in your immediate environment and communications, and some blockages in these areas where people haven't felt heard or you haven't felt heard. But this lunar eclipse is going to bring an element of completion to this. It's going to bring, I believe, an element of healing, an element of kind of working through and reestablishing yourself from more secure foundations there, and kind of maybe even just moving into an environment that's more comfortable for you. We're kind of coming into a little bit of an area of more peace. And, you know, Saturn is retrograded already back into Capricorn now. So he was in Aquarius, but now he's back in Capricorn, where this began. And there's an element of review here. We have our retrograde Pluto and our retrograde Jupiter in conjunction. And there is an element of review of the work that we've been putting in, and of the steps that we've been taking of alignment, and of the shifts and of the changes that need to be made. So there's definitely an element of review where we're looking to kind of stabilize some of the positive changes that we've made in our life, and stabilize these changes so that we can move into a more secure place and a more aligned place and a little bit of a more peaceful place where we feel like we're able to communicate much more clearly and more authentically, and where maybe even a blockage of ideas and all of a sudden starts to flow over the next 6 months, this eclipse energy, because we're looking at from the eclipse to like 6 months forward to see some of this play out. But I do think it's going to be very healing. I think it's going to be healing, and it's going to bring in kind of more authentic communications and more authentic connections, and maybe even kind of, you know, that release, like I said, of the blockages and ideas. And with the sun over there opposing this in Cancer, your ninth house, where I think there's also this level of awareness to wanting to expand now, to wanting to expand from this new, more aligned place of thinking, or this new, more aligned place of connecting. There's definitely this element of wanting to get out there and kind of do some more expansive mental explorations, I think, for a lot of you guys, and maybe even to connect in a different way to spirituality, or look into some kind of different ritual or tradition there. So let's see here. We're going to pull from the cards for you guys, my Scorpios. Okay, so the first card we pulled is the Six of Pentacles. So yeah, this is, I get a couple different interpretations of this card. I'm getting the feeling of kind of generosity right now. And sometimes I get a very polarizing effect when I pull this card, where it's very much so a power dynamic, I feel. But there is also an element of generosity to this card, which I'm feeling come through more, where you're just feeling, maybe you are feeling a little bit more peaceful. Maybe you are feeling a little bit more generous. Maybe you're experiencing some generosity from others. Maybe you're experiencing from charity from others, and you're receiving some help from others, or you'll have some help from others come into you this week, or you could be the helping hand. I feel like that could go either way. It could be a power dynamic scenario, but I'm definitely feeling kind of more of a generosity, charitable vibe going on with a lot of my Scorpios here. So let's see here. Our challenge this week throughout this lunar eclipse is going to be in the Eight of Swords. So yeah, this is removing yourself from some mental bondage here. This is feeling trapped in some kind of situation or some kind of way of thinking that's preventing you from expanding. So I believe this is going to be part of what's going to be becoming released with this full moon lunar eclipse. I believe this is going to be part of the completion with some of this energy as we're watching that play out, is kind of the unraveling of all of this, and also in a sense you coming to the understanding that you are doing the unraveling here, that this is the work that you've been putting in, that we're releasing from kind of these restrictions that we've been putting around ourselves, and now we're opening up and we're able to expand. So let's see here. The next card we pulled is the Devil. So interesting. So maybe some of us are attached to something in this physical reality that's keeping us from entering into that level of growth. Maybe this is attachment to a way of negative thinking, or attachment to some kind of pattern in your life that's toxic, attachment to a relationship that's toxic, that's keeping you from growing. This could be part of the shift or the change in your immediate environment. Your immediate environment could be affecting you in such a way that it's dark, and this is part of the shift and the changing, where you know you kind of need to move into a more spiritual, more aligned place, move into more spiritually aligned connections. This could be drugs, this could be alcohol for some of you. So if any of you struggle with that, maybe this could be an element of this generosity, maybe kind of moving into a more healed space with that, reaching out to help if you're struggling with that, if that's keeping you restricted, if that's keeping you in bondage, some kind of addiction could be coming up. But again, this could just be kind of a negative thought pattern that you're allowing yourself to get wrapped up in, that's keeping you trapped in a lower vibrational, lower dimensional energy. So let's pull here. Let's see. So we did pull the King of Swords next. So yeah, this is about not getting so attached to what's going on in this physical world, to maybe some very physical, very primitive instincts here, but to come up to the King of Swords, where the King of Swords is really able to step away and be an objective observer and pull some really divine insights and pull some really divine truths out of the situation and take forward action out of those, take forward movement out of those. He doesn't only see the truth and make decisions, he takes actions moving forward. We see that in the tilt of the sword here. So this is definitely about kind of a lot maybe of the thought processes that have been keeping you in bondage ending, and you coming to some sense of clarity, and you coming to some sense of understanding and healing, and moving into a direction where you feel just more connected in an overall way, and feel like you are in an environment that stimulates that connection within you. So in any case, I love you guys, all my Scorpios, so much. I hope you're doing well out there, and I will be back next week.